Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch the Twilight Zone Season 2, episode 26, like that. You know it, I have that project on my channel to react to episodes of the Twilight Zone when I want, when I can, when my schedule allows me to react to one. And right now it's the case, I have the place really just for one because I just finished my binge watching of Twin Peaks. I'm that close to finish as well my binge watching of Shogun. So normally I should begin to binge watch a new show, and I'm gonna organize this week on my Patreon a poll for you guys on Patreon to decide which show I'm gonna react to. And normally when this episode is out, in fact I can already tell you that right there on the video, the poll is gonna be about what, because the ones of you watching that video on Patreon, you already know about it, and the ones of you watching this video on YouTube, maybe you're going to be interested to participate to that poll. For participating to the poll, you just have to be a sub, you know, on my Patreon. So, the next show is going to be Silo or Severance. Two shows that I'm interested to react to since a long time, that I have my eyes on since a long time, because I heard so many good reviews about them for different reasons, but each time people are talking about how passionate they are about really the plot, the ideas at the beginning of the show, and the fact that they are making a lot of theories and all. You know me, for sure that can please me. So I'm interested by these two. So the poll is gonna be with these two shows, and you guys on Patreon, you're gonna decide which one is gonna be the next show that I'm gonna binge watch with you guys. That being said, I'm not gonna react to that new show just right now because soon we're gonna have The Wheel of Time back. So in fact, next week, you know, it's gonna be about The Wheel of Time, the 3 first new episodes. So in fact, the new show is gonna be really in 1 or 2 weeks. So I didn't want to begin to react to a new show, to have a break of 1 week and then to continue it. Like, it didn't make any sense, and it made sense on the contrary to react to one new episode of the Twilight Zone because I have that little place for one video, for one show. So let's do that. You know how I'm selecting these episodes of the Twilight Zone. I picked, you know, on IMDb these episodes because of their rates. I selected the 51st episodes, you know, with the best rates. I already reacted to more than 20 episodes of the Twilight Zone thanks to that. And right there it's gonna be this one, the episode 26 of the season 2. For what I read about it, it's the story of a guy who was condemned to death, you know, because he committed a murder, and it's the last days, hours before him being condemned to death. So that's gonna be deep, you know, I think, for the subjects that maybe we're gonna explore during this episode. That can be heavy subjects, so I cannot wait to see how the Twilight Zone treated that, knowing that this episode was out in May of 1961. Each time I'm reminding you that, guys, when these episodes were out, because I think that it's always interesting to put that episode into the context, you know, when it was out, the political context, the society, how it was during that period of time, all of that. So yes, that's it. Let's go for this episode, which is named Shadow Play, which is about a guy found guilty of murder and sentenced to the electric chair, and which was out in May 1961. If you can be interested on my Patreon, you have a longer reaction part of this episode in full opacity with the level 2, and you have the full reaction part, my reactions and my thoughts to everything, with the level 3. Let's go for this episode!
Here they come.
Yeah, like he was into the dark, into his thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict? Your Honor, find the defendant, Adam Grant, guilty of murder in the first degree. The defendant will rise. The defendant will rise.
Who did you kill? Like...
Adam Grant, you have been tried by a jury of your peers and found guilty. It is the sentence of this court that for the brutal and despicable crime of murder in the first degree, you shall be put to death by means of electrocution.
Did you try to talk, or were you saying the exact same thing?
No! Not again! You can't make me die again! Please, please!
Are you crazy, or are you just living the verdict and your death again and again?
Don't believe it! Make him believe it! Tell the district attorney he's prosecuted himself! Tell him they should charge him the worst delayed! Tell him! Tell him! Lay off that thing, will you? I'm sorry, Grant. I didn't know it was bothering me, Grant. It's all right, Cookie. It's my fault. I got you out of a bad movie I saw once. It's like everything else in this corny dream.
Dream?
Sometimes I wonder, too, what it's going to be like. I'll tell you what it's like.
See, I think that he
You walk out of
is
your cell,
reliving it again and again.
78 steps to the final door. It's painted green. There's a guard that opens the door for you and you go into a room. There's nothing in it except one chair. It's like a chair you used to sit in when you were a kid. It's hard and soft. Then they attach the electrodes. It's funny.
What is worse, you know, than to be condemned to death, to relive that again and again?
Every muscle tense, straining. Any second. Any second. And you can almost hear it. Well, only a few more hours.
I know it. I knew it the minute you walked in. Good night, dear.
What about dinner?
Lost my appetite. Oh, the steak is about 5 minutes.
Don't start it. Don't start. I'm not upset or disturbed or nervous anymore. I'm scared. You mean to say you believe that crazy story? God help me, Hank, but I do. Why not? Can we prove he's wrong? Maybe not, but that's
His
the full
story?
reason for believing in anything.
About all of you.
This guy killed a man in cold blood and he's going to pay for it. Those are the facts. Anything else is speculation, fantasy. Maybe this is all a dream. The thought has occurred to you, hasn't it? Hank, haven't you ever stopped and said to yourself, this couldn't be real? If you're a success, you're bound to think it's a dream. If not, you think it's a nightmare. This only proves that Grant is human. He can't believe what's happening to him. So he tries to convince himself that it isn't. Not really.
But
I've been talking to this kid a lot lately, and he makes sense. Go down there and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it.
if he's crazy, Grant, clearly it's contagious because right now you are.
What time is it? 9:05. Why? You got a date somewhere? No, I'm just expecting someone. The governor, right?
No, no.
No, it's a district attorney.
Yes.
He comes around about 9.
See, he usually comes around, so you know he's gonna come. Maybe earlier, when he was lost in his thoughts, it was more like, okay, what do I need to do this time to try to
Go watch.
stop that?
You see? He's right on time, huh, James? You don't seem surprised to see me.
Mm-mm.
You always come. The district attorney always comes to this town as you. Grant, I take it you're sticking to this dream story of yours. That's right. You think you, for instance? You think you'd be visiting a man who was just about to be executed in real life? Of course not. They wouldn't allow you in here. You don't know any more about me.
If it was just a dream, we wouldn't have had a scene with the district attorney, you know, his wife and his friend. It's not your dream, but you're all blocked.
I'm going to destroy that story of yours, Grant, now once and for all. What about our parents, and our parents' parents, and everybody who never even heard of you? A dream builds its own world, Mr. Ritchie. It's complete with a past, and as long as you stay asleep, a future. What about us, then, when we sleep and dream? You only sleep and dream because I dream you that way. You're scared now. Why? Why are you scared? You've got to wake up sometime, even if you're electrocuted, so why don't you just sit back and enjoy it? Enjoy it.
Enjoy to be electrocuted again and again?
Haven't you ever been Haven't you ever fallen out of a window or been drowned or tortured? You have. Don't you remember how real it had seemed? Remember how you woke up screaming?
Waking up from a nightmare, you know, being sweaty, being such in a bad state.
It changes a little bit. The people get twisted around, but it's the same dream. You've got to believe me. I can't go on dying. I can't. I'm trying to do this, Archie. Please, let me live now. I'll keep you alive. I'll prove it to you. Your wife, she has a steak cooking for you. Go home, look in the oven. It'll be something else.
Well,
Ah!
What's wrong, Hank?
Not a steak
That's a
anymore.
roast.
You can have an influence on stuff. It's really a dream.
Or you take this place here, you and Cooley and his harmonica, or Phillips and his mother. It's like a movie. Real death houses aren't like that, but you see, I've never been in a real death house. That's my impression of it.
If I follow you, it means that in reality you're where? You didn't commit the murder yet, you already committed it and you're waiting to be arrested, you're waiting to be condemned for real.
That's another thing. Why does this always happen around midnight?
because that's when it happens.
Yeah, but why?
According to Grant, he doesn't know anything about these matters except what he sees in the movies. In the movies, it always happens at midnight.
Hey, Scrooge, you're wasting your time. You can't feel him.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because you're nothing but dreams. Dreams! You hear that, Scrooge?
Screws?
Anything you wish to say in these few moments remaining to you, my son? Let us pray. There's no need. There's always a need for prayer, my son.
Only in the real world, Father, not in a nightmare.
You feel detached from reality.
And I don't feel
It wasn't in that.
I wonder where I've seen you, where your face came from. We've never met.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have. Father Beeman. No wonder I didn't recognize you. You died when I was 10 years old. Oh, everybody came to your funeral.
My name is Beeman.
You're summoning a priest from your memories?
Your place.
Be still, my son.
But what about Richie, the district attorney? He must have been a school teacher of mine. Maybe he was a friend of Dad's.
You think that you summon them all based on your memories? I would continue to think that we have two possibilities. He's really blocked, you know, with this dream, reliving the same thing again and again, his death sentence again and again. Or he's going crazy, but the steak roast situation changed my mind.
That's true, and it doesn't matter. What matters is the kid believes that means he's got a case. The psychiatrist?
The psychiatrist made a mistake. Each day we'll throw in another team.
No.
Why not? Because we might be wrong. Well, maybe we are, but maybe we're not. That's reasonable doubt. Hank, the kid is sick in the head. Are you going to send a mental incompetent to the chair?
The hypocrisy of that, like,
I regret this, Paul. I'll regret this as long as I live. Yes, this is Henry Ritchie. Governor, I don't have time to explain, but I want you to grant a stay of execution in the case of Adam Grant.
Grant?
He's calling now.
Time disappeared and you're back.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Now you're the...
We have, Your Honor.
The
Your
judge.
Honor, we find the defendant, Adam Grant, guilty of murder in the first degree. The defendant will rise.
The attorney, okay.
We know that a dream can be real, but whoever thought that reality could be a dream? We exist, of course, but how? In what way? Or are we simply parts of someone's feverish, complicated nightmare? Think about it. Do you live here, in this country, in this world? Or do you live instead in the Twilight Zone?
It's a bug in the matrix, you know. Clearly I can see one subject, you know, through this episode about death penalty about the fact that this guy was condemned to death penalty and in fact he never dies truly, is forced to relive his last day trying to fight, to find solutions to convince people to grant him, so he's not going to be killed, but in fact he's condemned to death again and again, so he dies again and again but without truly dying. So what is worse than death penalty, it's that, to be condemned to death penalty, to be killed again and again but without really being killed, and to relive that again and again. Clearly it's worse. I'm saying that because I'm responding to the question which was asked, at the beginning of this episode. Me, personally, that's a personal thought, principle, value, idea that I have into my life. You have the right to not agree, like to agree. I'm against death penalty. I believe into second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance as long as the person, truly regrets what they did, was punished for it, and shows, that truly they want to change and all of that. And also I believe that death penalty never brought good stuff, into our societies. On the contrary, it never truly resolved crimes and all into our societies. That's what some people could say, but not at all. On the contrary, the mistakes which were committed because of that, and the fact that just a part of the population, is condemned to death penalty and not the elite, the white elite one. See, I have my ideas about it, and again, you can agree, you can disagree. What is nice about this episode is the fact that it's not really the question. Death penalty, are you for or against it? It's not really the question. It's more about that guy who was condemned to death is reliving it and again, and in fact it's worse than to be condemned to death. And in fact, the reason why he was condemned to that, it's not that important. At first I asked the question and I really stopped my thought really quick with that because I saw that it was not the question. You don't care about who did he kill and if he truly killed that person or not, because in fact it's not that important. Something that maybe I find a little, not bad, but something that they shouldn't have done with this episode, it's the fact that they revealed the truth at the middle of the episode. Like I said myself, I could have wondered about, is it truly a dream that is reliving again and again, or is it just crazy, until the end, and I have the answer only at the end, during the last minute, if they wouldn't have answered to that question at the middle of the episode with all of that thing about the steak and the roast. If you don't put that thing, during the episode, the viewer could have continued, to have the doubt about it. I understand that they did it because they wanted to show that the district attorney, he had the doubt about it and he couldn't intervene no matter what, and at the end he chose to do it, pushed, by his friend, but he did it a little too late, so maybe we can have the impression that that's it, you're gonna find a way to break all of that thing, all of that nightmare, and in fact, no, it's beginning again. It's another kind of tension, but they played it badly, that other tension, in the sense that they didn't play enough with how to edit this episode, to really jump from the jail situation to the district attorney situation, to feel that really it was just a question of seconds and all. I didn't feel that tension. I knew that it wouldn't come right on time, it was already too late. The fact that the first thing to disappear, it's, how do you say it in English? L'horloge? The time thing, it's pretty cool, the fact that we're playing with time and in fact we came back on time and everyone has a different role but they all have the same face because in fact he used people that he knew into his past, you know, to play this roles. But the fact that they're insisting on I imagine all of that but it can't work truly like that for all of us to be at the same place, you know. What does it mean? Where do you think that he's blocked, that guy? Is he blocked before he committed the murder? Is he blocked the day before the announce, you know, of the condemnation? Or is he blocked, in fact, when he began to go into his thoughts before the announce of the condemnation? It happened at this time and that's why he's into that loop with that particular moment? Because he was not focused enough on his own trial? Can he get out of it at some point? I think that no, because I think that the Twilight Zone chose to block him right there, to condemn him of that. He was condemned, you know, by the human justice to death and by the Twilight Zone to relive that again and again. Okay, that was a nice episode, clearly not one of the best that I saw with you guys since the beginning, you know, of that project of watching episodes of the Twilight Zone, and now I watched more than 20 episodes, I think. So yes, it's not one of the best, and on the contrary, for all of these episodes that I watched, I think that it's one of those that I appreciate it, but not that much. Like, I don't understand why this one has that rate, you know, such a good rate. In comparison of others, like they are close for the rates when in fact they are really far away for the quality for me. It's like that. Okay, it's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.